Well, good morning. Today, I thought I would do a little bit of a video on another minimalist boat meal on my Trangia Mini Alcohol stove. Today, we are going to look at a single pot red lentil lunch curry. So just quickly here, this is everything I'm going to need. It's a bit more stuff than I have when I'm just doing the powder type cooking. This is a little bit more of an involved setup. So I've got a stove and cook set. I have an onion. I have a jar of pickled jalapeno peppers. A note on the jar of peppers, I usually don't have any glass on board the boat. But with certain types of food, pickles, olives, pickled peppers, jars are pretty well the only option. So you just have to be really careful. I keep it in a cooler bag, even though I don't have ice. The soft sides of the cooler bag protects it. And then all of my different lentils and legumes are in there. I have vegetable oil in the sink, as well as stove alcohol and water. So those are the ingredients I'm looking at is water, red lentils, onion, and pickled jalapeno peppers. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to start with is a little bit of prep work. I'm going to cut up the onion and the pepper. So I'm not using any kind of special kitchen knife. I'm just using a just a regular, outdoorsman's knife, I guess you could call it. I don't see on a boat this size, a little tiny cuddy cabin sailboat, I don't see the point in carrying a bunch of one-purpose knives. I just carry one knife for a whole bunch of different purposes. Alright, now that I've got the onion cut up, I'm going to get the stove lit. Do quite a bit of alcohol because this is a bit more of a involved meal. Wet matches. Yeah, there it's going. Okay. Alright, then I'm just going to add a little bit of oil to vegetable oil to saute the onions. This is a vegetarian meal, actually. There's no actually it's a vegan meal. Just enough to cover the bottom. The boat's on a bit of a slant right now. Okay, and then while the oil heats up for the onions, get out a couple of these pickled jalapenos. I haven't tried these yet. I understand they're hot, so I'm just going to go 2. And I can put the jar back into my cooler bag. That oil's already hot. It's been, well, I'm pretty well filming in real time here, actually. Get my spoon out. Okay, so I'm just gonna saute those a bit. I'm going to cut up these peppers. I'm going to cut them nice and small because I'm told they're really hot, these pickled peppers. I don't want to touch my eyes after doing this, but in this day and age they say you shouldn't be touching your face anyway, so. through the peppers, up with the onions. Woo, that's hard on the eyes. Gonna have to have lots of ventilation open with these peppers. All right, I'm gonna let that go for a few minutes. All right, so there's a close-up of what we're doing, sauteing onions and pickled peppers. Okay, this is still cooking away, starting to look good. Just trying to get the oil down a little bit before adding the water. Water's the next thing. So onions or oil first, then the onions, then the pickled jalapeno peppers. All right, well those are just starting to burn a bit, so that's enough sauteing. I'm going to add now just some water. So I'm going to add some water. I like a little bit more than 1-to-1 ratio, so a little bit more water than red lentils. So I'm just using an Nalgene bottle here with graduations on it. Whoa, that's right. All right, so just a little bit more than 50%. I'm going to let that come to a boil. It won't take long. Actually, I probably don't even need to let it come to a boil. Let's take a look at my lentil storage. Okay, so here we have my lentil storage. Oh, I got some ginger in there. Perfect. I'm going to throw in a spoonful of ginger, actually, fresh ginger. I normally just keep lentils in here, but that's a pleasant surprise. I got brown lentils in a Ziploc bag, and I've got red lentils. These Folgers things are great. They work really well for storing dry goods on a small boat. Okay. There it is, just red split lentils. The split lentils, of course, cook faster than the whole lentils. Yeah, that's almost boiling. I'm going to add these. I just eyeball it, but if you want to use a measuring cup, that's a good way to go too. I cook a lot of lentils. And I'm just going to add a little wee bit of ginger powder here. Fresh ginger, of course, is better. But especially these days, you got to work with what you have. Yeah, I'm going to turn this stove down. It's cooking a little bit too hard. We don't want to burn. One thing you want to keep in mind when you're cooking with these Trangia Mini cooksets is I always like to hold the pot with the pot holder while I'm stirring. Okay, and there's the finished product. You can see the jalapenos and the onions. It's all cooked in. That worked out really nicely. All right, well, there we have it. That's a red lentil lunch curry with onions and pickled jalapeno peppers. That'll do me. That's good for my lunch, and I'll bet you that's good for my dinner as well. You can eat that with rice or with flatbread, or you can just eat it on its own. I'm going to eat it on its own. It's a cool, rainy day today, so the spice from the jalapenos is going to be really nice, and the onion will give it some flavor. All right, thank you. That's red lentil lunch on a Trangia Mini Alcohol stove.